Councillor Mincher?
Yeah, similar lines as well as Councillor Downard as well. I think I wouldn't say there is any benefit to us personally. That's my personal opinion. I think that we'd soon find ourselves then bidding, a bit like that, bidding to have events here, because we'd be in that region, and rather than them coming to us and say, oh look, you've got the BMX championship, we'd have to bid for it, so we'd be putting our money there as well as our ratepayers are paying. I don't, obviously a bit like Mike, if it's in our region, in our district, there's a massive benefit. We know that, but I think being in Waikato, I mean, it's still 2 hours away. I think BP Tokoroa do okay, but I just don't see it as, I wouldn't support that we're going to have benefits from it. That's unmeasurable. I think it's like, once again, like Rob says, like put that on the ratepayers and then say, well, we're almost guaranteeing that there's benefits. Well, I don't think so, personally.
Well, just a couple of points there that I'll bring up. Just remember how many teams we hosted when they had the World Rowing Champs at Karapi Road. We hosted 3 in town here, so but please, please read the suggested resolution. Let's just consider an equitable basis proportional to the economic benefit and the ease of access to the facility for people within the Taupo District, and Waikato Regional Council formally consulting with the Taupo District ratepayers. That's where the decision would be made. We are ordering them to formally consult with your district ratepayers. And I can see what Ms McLeod's doing right here. She's passing on the resolution by Kirk and Truman to formally endorses the Waikato Home of Cycling proposal for New Zealand. So this, as a carry on to that, this does not commit you one way or the other. Because read the resolution very carefully. I believe it's well worded, and it certainly doesn't stymie where they're trying to go at this stage. Now, Councillor Creighton, you've had your hand up 2 or 3 times and I've missed you. I did it purposely because I know you're going to talk for the project,
Well, no, I'd just like to clear up a few sort of misunderstandings here. First of all, that there's a process called, and I think Anne will know this, it's called a special consultative process that they're going through, which answers your question of how can the regional councils do it. And I've been to both of the Bay of Plenty and the Waikato meetings where we've met with all the councils there, and that's the way they're handling it, Barry. And it came up all the time that the government has put this whole thing in the wrong time frame to do it, and that's why there was a 3-month extension. Deloitte's are currently doing a due diligence exercise on the worth of this to the whole region, and then, as Will says, that at some stage they've got to divide it up as what is the worth to Taupo at the southern end of the whole region. Councillor Mincher says, what benefit are we going to get? The velodrome is only one part of this whole cycling sort of fraternity, the whole exercise. It's apparently 13% of people will be doing cycling in a velodrome. The other 80-odd percent, 73%, is going to be the other areas of cycling, of which we, as Councillor Downard said, we've got heads up on event cycling and tourist cycling and mountain bike cycling with Rotorua. So we are going to get some benefit out of it, and I go along to these meetings every Monday and I will make sure that we do. And as regards competitiveness, this whole exercise is going to be an exercise in regional collaboration, and it could be that we're going to have a bun fight at the end if we get the World Mountain Bike Champs here. We've got 2 other things that we've got in our favour here. As Simon said, we've got a cycling culture here that all the rest of the Bay of Plenty and Waikato hasn't got, and that's why they invited us in, and they value us. And I've got to say this with a bit of boasting, but I've been nominated to go on the trust for this whole home of cycling, so they do value our input into the whole cycling scene, and I think we've just got to wait to see what progresses. But I'm fully expect that we're going to get some economic benefit out of this, otherwise it wouldn't be worth all the effort. Thank you for listening to that, people.
Anderson.
Further to what I was saying before, this resolution, my only issue revolves really around this, the wording of the resolution, and that we endorse the levying of the regional rate. I've got no problem with them consulting on it, but I don't necessarily endorse it, and I'm unable to because I would consider I don't have enough information to endorse it at this point.
Number 2 puts the consulting part back into it.
That's right.
Oh, Rick, Councillor Mincher.
Yeah, I'm not trying to confuse that. We certainly support it being in the Waikato over anywhere else. That's fine. But now you're asking for money where the mouth is, and that's where I'm a bit like Rob. So to sell to Turangi when we become one rating district, they're going to get a benefit from this. Other than if something's put on down there like an event that we maybe do bid for, I don't think you're going to get that part of the district buying in. I know that we've got a culture on that, Keith, and I support it. If it was here like Mike, if it was in town here, great, but the culture could shift a lot closer to the Waikato. You might find that the culture shifts that way a bit because the roading around that area and thing is quite open to it as well. So I don't think we can guarantee there's benefits long term.
Are we really concentrating here on what we should be concentrating? Many aspects of this. One, I think I'm getting the feeling through everyone's talking about how many people are going to come to the district and who's going to stay in the motels and the economic benefit. But here's the other side of the shoe. If your 10-year-old boy or girl at school is starting to show a bit of expertise at cycling, racing and things like that, would you like to be driving them every day to Palmerston North, or would you like to drive them every day to Cambridge? Because this is about teaching young sports people and putting a facility there that aids and abets to New Zealand becoming great cyclists. And it's not just about the velodrome, but that's where it starts and extrapolates out to mountain bike racing, road racing and everything else. And don't forget those Waikato river trails. The dream is within 5 years that they will be connected to the very doorstep of the velodrome from here. You're not a councillor, thank goodness. What are you trying to do? Is that a compliment? What are you trying to show me here now?
I'm just suggesting that perhaps...
are you suggesting a change to the resolution?
I'm suggesting a change to the resolution. And
Councillor. Deputy CEO, Ms McLeod, if you just grab a pen, folks, and see if you agree with this. It's a resolution where it starts either that council rub out the word endorses and put the word supports. Yep. Move along to where it says Waikato Regional Council levying, just in between those two words, council and levying, include investigating. So, that council supports Waikato Regional Council investigating levying a regional rate for the home cycling based on an equitable basis proportional to the economic development of the bear.
You could get rid of number 2 and you can have the council supports Waikato Regional Council formally consulting with Taupo District Council ratepayers about a regional rate for the home cycling and based on number 1. You could do that if that's what the council wants. It's the same words but just in a different order.
Well, you show us what you're talking about.
What I'm suggesting, Mr Mayor, is that the resolution becomes, you cross out number 2 completely because you don't necessarily need it, because you insert that into the first sentence, that council supports rather than endorses, if that's the wording you choose to select, that council supports Waikato Regional Council formally consulting with Taupo District ratepayers for a region regarding a regional rate for the home of cycling based on, number 1, an equitable basis proportional to the economic benefit and ease of access to the facility for the people of Taupo District. So you're just taking number 2 out but inserting it into that first.
Okay, Councillor Anderson.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that resolution. My problem was here that we'd be endorsing it prior to a consultation with the public from Byron Waikato, so yeah, that's fine with me.
Too strong a word, support.
Yep.
We've signalled our support all the way through. And we continue that supportive role. And we certainly don't want to hinder work in progress, because if my 11-year-old grandkid becomes a great or looks like he might, he wants some training, I don't want to drive to Palmerston, I'd rather have it here in the Waikato. Can't be here in Taupo, I accept that, but that's second prize to me.
Also, I think, Rick, in the old resolution we were supporting them levying already, whereas I think that takes away my concerns anyway.
Does that do the business, Ms McLeod?
certainly, and just to clarify, Environment Waikato has asked all councils to do this. We've added some things to the suggested resolution they'd put forward. But I think what they were trying to do was make sure that when they went out to consult with the public, that the councils didn't then turn around and say, "Oh no, we don't think you ought to be doing that." It was more getting the council's support before that they wouldn't oppose it.
Yeah, that's right.
Councillor Williams?
I support 100% the wording of the resolution as suggested by our CEO.
Would you like to be the mover?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to be the seconder, Councillor Cook? All in favour? Aye.
All right.
Okay.